They're making a remastered one, a version of it on PS5.
Yeah, people are pissed off about it.
Are they really?
I'm excited.
It looked good. When I saw it, like I looked at like the side by side, and it looks good.
It looks good.
Hey, y'all know me. I ain't a remastered bitch, but I might play it. I only played Dead Space 1 because Doe forced me to, and I kind of enjoyed it, but I never beat it. So,
but why would you play it? I think according to you, you're supposed to not buy it so that they don't make any more remakes.
Well, because I never really played it all the way through.
But then you're going to encourage the creation of remakes and remasters.
I'm only getting it remastered because I've never really beat the game. So
yeah,
technically,
but when you
it's my
buy
first playthrough.
They're going to say, "Oh, people love remasters. We'll make more." Nah. Why would you support that?
They're going to do a remaster of the remaster next year.
Nah, well, I'm not buying that. That's too much. It's different when it's your first playthrough. There's loopholes. I found it. But yeah, man. Also another beautiful Halloween topic here, boys. Best horror game played. Or you can switch it up to a little bit, maybe say best all time, maybe.
I mean, Amnesia freaked me the fuck out when I played that one. That first Amnesia game.
Yes.
I never played it.
I really enjoyed that game. I was scared to play that game.
The footsteps in the water got me. Yeah, it's like it's just a bunch of crazy, creepy creatures chasing you. It's got Doughy, what is that game? I want to say it's like a GameCube game or something. Where as you're playing,
Eternal Darkness.
Yeah, you have a sanity meter, and as your sanity gets lower, crazy shit starts happening. I think that does almost like the Metal Gear Solid shit a couple of times too, where it's like, oh, the game failed, but you're actually still playing the fucking game.
It's a PlayStation 4 game.
They might have remade it.
Amnesia: The Dark Descent.
Amnesia. Yeah, it came out for PS4. Yeah.
But yeah, it's got this similar sanity system though, where you'll start hearing shit and seeing stuff. I love that kind of shit in like scary, spooky games.
Yeah, it sucks because you have like a lantern and you got to use the light to see because the game is really fucking dark. But also, if you don't use the lantern, your sanity meter will go down, and
I love it.
Then you start seeing shit and it's creepy as fuck.
The volume meter on your TV will pop up, and it's just like the classic one that you would have on your TV, and it start going all the way down, and you can't hear nothing. You're like, who's doing that?
That's fucking scary, bro. That's fire.
Yeah, that was a GameCube game. Yeah,
I never played that.
Never played it.
Yeah, no, it's Eternal Darkness. You never played Eternal Darkness?
I might give it a try.
I watched my brother play it. I never actually played it.
It's hard. I got like maybe halfway through the game. That game's hard. It's got like some Resident Evil elements. You're like you play as like different people in different time periods, and then you'll always pop back into this mansion, and then you have to do like escape room type shit in this, trying to figure out all these puzzles in the mansion. And then like I got halfway there, and I remember I got stuck. The game's kind of a little difficult halfway. Like the difficulty spikes up.
I've got a weird one.
Yeah, I don't like how the camera puts you like at an angle. It's so weird. I saw the mute button. It just says mute like the old TVs. The volume's going down. That's ridiculous.
It was such a cool system, dude. It was
as a child. That shit scared me. I'm like, how are they doing it? You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I didn't play too many like horror games, but there's some of them that I have like 4 or 5, but the most recent one was PT. PT scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, but PT's barely a game.
Yeah,
but
it's barely
I
a
agree.
game, but that shit was scary as fuck.
I will say something. PT is a demo. I don't think there's been a game as scary since PT has come out. I think it raised the bar for like scary, and I don't think a lot of people have reached it.
I don't know, man. Those Outlast games are real spooky. Something about that little like the camera view and how dark all the stages are, and just their only ability is to hide from people. Those Outlast games are fucking creepy.
Those are also my biggest problems with those games. Is they're just hide and seek. Ooh, you see me. I got to run away now. And you run away, and there's like excitement there. But that gameplay loop for me gets a little bit old. It's like a walking simulator / there was a game called Soma, another horror themed game. Really cool concept, really cool story. But it was just one of those things where you just had to hide and seek, and it had some cool elements to it. It was about the end of the world and people saving their brains onto hard drives and shit like that. So it was a really cool fucking story.
To be fair though, in a spooky game, when they give me a gun, it makes the game less scary for me. Like once I have a weapon and I can fight back, it's not as scary whenever you're like running away from a creature or something.
I think you can still make it scary. Just make that gun puny. Just like make it so that you have to like, you know what I mean? They're tough.
I mean, this is why like there has not been a scary Resident Evil game since like the first one or something like that, right? Like, are those new Resident Evil games actually scary? Do they actually frighten you?
I genuinely thought that there was some really good moments in 7. When you play part 7, there's some good moments there that I'm like, ooh, this is good horror.
The one with the family does seem spooky. Which one is that one?
That's 7. Yeah.
Is that
Hey,
7?
man, I was scared of Mr. X in Resident Evil 2. That fucker chased. Yeah, I didn't like that shit.
That was a broken
I don't
mechanic,
know.
though.
I've never been a big fan of playing games for horror itself. Like because there seems to be just one way to do it, is to just make you so incredibly powerless that that frustrates me. I like
Same.
Amnesia was cool, and then after I played Amnesia, there was Soma, there was Alien Isolation, and probably a ton of other games where the core concept was solve these puzzles, walk around this area, and when the monster shows up, you got to hide and sneak around to get past.
I mean, Alien Isolation gave you weapons. You had like a gun and like a flamethrower and shit like that.
It wasn't enough for me. I was like,
But
this combat is lame.
I also never made it. I never made that game far enough to like actually fight the alien. Like I saw it a couple of times. I never had the alien actually pop out before that game lost my interest.
Another one too.
Friend of the pod, Sam, gamed the entire system in front of me. He's like, yeah, I already know how the alien works. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, just watch me. And he was showing me, he got the alien to get trapped in this room. He knew how to like manipulate the alien already. I was like, oh, that's crazy.
Silent Hill games always scared the shit out of me.
Silent Hill has a good creepy environment. We were talking about it earlier. Everything's damp and gross.
The first 4 Silent Hill games are probably, in my definition, like the best horror games, like of that time period, all the way up until The Room. The Room was a little bit iffy, but you were stuck in a room. You could look out the door and see shit. Then you had to crawl inside some hole in your apartment that just showed up. That shit is creepy.
I was just about to ask you, Doe. Let's say that you woke up tomorrow, you couldn't get out your door, and a hole appeared in your wall. How long are you waiting before you crawl through that hole?
I'm gonna piss in it first and maybe jerk off into the void.
Damn.
What is wrong with this?
It's fucking like Eamon Targaryen. He's just jacking off the balcony.
That's a rush.
Yeah. Do you guys remember The Suffering on PS2?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was like
Yes.
you were a prisoner in Alcatraz, and I can't really remember the story that much, but I remember that game really freaking me out. I think your character was like possessed. He could like turn into a monster or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Like you were both the protagonist and the villain, and you were like killing people, and it wasn't clear if like these people were really trying to kill you or if you had been hunting these people. Yeah. And then there's like this crazy like insanity aspect behind the game, and the shit is just, it was a very creepy vibe. I'm sure if you go back and look at it, the game probably looks like shit. It's probably not as creepy as I recall, but I remember thinking as a horror game it was cool. It had a good deal of action, but as a premise, it was creepy. Like the whole game. Remember those like Max Payne nightmares, where it's just like, what?
No, because I think he got framed for killing his family or some bullshit like that, and it had a lot of like that stuff baked
How you're just
into
like
it.
running around this super dark space and you're kind of creeped out.
But let's talk
it's like
about that.
elongated forever. It's like what that game felt like.
How many of you guys died at that part because of how anxious it made you in Max Payne when you had to walk on the little thin bloodline
And
and
you had
the
to
baby
jump across
the
the
baby
bloodlines.
in the background?
I died.
I died because the platforming in that game was garbage, and they wanted you to do the most fine-tuned like platforming in the world. Like Bucha was saying, you try to jump, you just don't make that jump.
Yeah, I hated that part in the
That
game.
sucked.
You know what else scared me? The final boss in Twisted Metal 2 was just a gigantic version of Sweet Tooth, and it always scared me because of like the size difference of your car and this huge car. It's like, I don't know. It always scared me. I had to pause the game and wait till my brother came home so we could play it together.
That's crazy.
Here's one of my scariest gaming moments. It's not actually like, I don't think it's a scary game, but it scared the shit out of me. The very first time I played Minecraft, did not know there were enemies in that game, especially not creepers. So there I am in a mine, just like digging, and it's got that like little ambient like Minecraft music, and then I hear a fucking explosion and I'm dead. And this is like at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I screamed. Like I think I woke up like one of my roommates or something, because I wasn't mentally prepared. Didn't realize there were exploding fucking creeper bosses in that stupid game.
The scariest shit about Minecraft was that like in the early game, sometimes you'd come across like little structures that it looked like you built them, but you didn't. Like they're built the way that players build like little, just like a all dirt little hovel with like a door or something, like things like that. And you would find shit like that, just like weird little structures that you're like, I didn't build that, but like it looks not generated. Like this looks like it was built. And then you'd be in the tunnels, like digging around. It would just feel eerie. I don't know. Minecraft always creeped me out a little bit, even with no enemies. And then there was the whole Herobrine thing. I don't know if you heard of that.
Herobrine
that
was weird.
Herobrine thing creeped me out too. It was like, ugh. It was a creepypasta, basically. People just made up a whole story about Herobrine, talking about, there's this other character in Minecraft. He like builds things and he looks just like you, but his eyeballs are white. Sometimes you'll be, in a mine and you'll catch a glimpse of him, but then you can't ever catch him and blah. It was a bullshit like that. And then in one of the updates to Minecraft, in the patch notes, it said removed Herobrine. Like, so they were like in on the joke.
What's the name of the game though that you was playing with a Polaroid picture? You had to take pictures to actually see. What was the name of that game?
Is that Alan Wake?
Is that Alan Wake?
No, it's a different one. You're talking about the Japanese horror one, Silent Frame or something like
Fatal
that.
Frame?
Fatal Frame.
Fatal Frame. Yeah, bro, that shit was scary.
Fatal Frame is super creepy.
That
yeah.
shit is fucking creepy.
Japanese horror has always been. I've loved Japanese horror. You know what was good? That was horror, but it was all four of us playing, and I don't remember us having this much fun in this type of game. The Forest. That game was not scary, but when you went into the caves and we were trying to make it out, it was like chaotic.
No, that's when you seen everybody just says "fuck you" and fight for yourself. People would just start scattering. Like, one moment I saw Pucho next to me, and he was just fucking gone. Bro, I had no torch. I didn't see shit. I just died. I said, fuck it. What I'm gonna do here?
That game had a creepy vibe, but it has one of my favorite feelings in games are finding unexpected things, and there's like this excitement of exploring this unexpected thing. It gives me that feeling of like in Lost, when they're in the middle of this jungle and they find a hatch with all these computers in it, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, the Forest had that vibe where it was like you're running around, you're fighting these weird creatures and these weird caves and this and that. And then we explored these caves deeper and deeper and deeper, and then we found the door. We went into the door, and it was like a fucking futuristic laboratory. And we're like, whoa. Like, that shit, I always just find that's just so fucking cool.
That's why I love
awesome.
that show. I binge watched the fuck out of that show, bro. 7 seasons long. Bro, I did it in like a month. She was
like the only person on planet Earth who loves Lost.
I hated the ending though, but overall the show was really fucking good.
Yeah,
Never s-
those like first 2 seasons were awesome. Like the others and the hatch, and then they get in, and then the number. All the mysteries are so cool, but the answers sucked.
I wonder if the game you were talking about, Tony, was the game that I played on PlayStation 3, the Condemned game where you're a detective and you have to take pictures and you have to zoom in to the body parts and like see the marks and stuff like that. There was the game called Condemned that was a horror game where you also used like a camera.
All I remember is you was in the woods, you take a picture and you look at it and then you just threw it away. That's all I remember.
No, I don't remember that.
So it had to be fatal. It had to be fatal. It had to be because that shit was fucking. I hate games like that. I don't like games where, especially like if you're playing it and you just feel like you're by yourself, like, and it's just like anything just jumps right out. I don't like any of them shits. I'm good. Keep all that.
You
shit.
know, it's funny the things that creep you out as like a kid, though, right? Because like, y'all ever play like the first Splatterhouse game?
No.
It's goofy, like side scrolly, like brawler. You play as like this dude that gets resurrected with a hockey mask. You look like Jason Voorhees, what you look like. And those games freaked me the fuck out as a kid because I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's because I just saw Jason in my head. I don't know if it's because you're fighting a bunch of like creepy like zombies and demons and shit like that. That game creeped me the fuck out. I'm looking at like screenshots of it now. It's the most childish, basic looking nonsense around.
Damn.
Yeah, I remember playing Streets of Rage 3, and as you get a couple levels into that game, there's like this spooky kind of area where these like devils start appearing. And I remember being scared because I was fighting the fucking devil. And then my grandmother was in the room, and the whole time she was shit talking us because she's like, "Oh, look at this, look at this shit these games are playing. Look at the violence. They're beating the shit out of people. Oh, look at the blood." Oh, the whole time. And then when the devils came up, forget about it. Because my grandmother's so fucking religious. She was like, "Oh my God, it's the devil. They put the devil in the game."
Did you tell her, Grandma, chill? We're beating the shit out of the devil.
Yeah, I remember that night we were creeped out. Me and my cousin were playing it. I don't know why. We were freaked out. We turned the game off. And then my grandmother forced us to do like these prayers or something. It
What
was
the
whack.
fuck?
I was pissed off.
That's terrible.
The prayers creeped me out even worse, yo.
Facts.
Yo, my grandmother was crazy, yo. She was like, because we lived in the hood, right? Like if she caught us looking out the window, she'll just start yelling at you because she'll be like, "You're gonna get shot looking out the window." Like, because like mad kids be getting shot in the hood, be just looking out the windows and shit. Yo, like, so she'll hear like a fucking car like backfire, like da. She'll grab you, da. She'll slam you to the ground like a Vietnam movie, bro. Like she's like, we hitting the deck. Ain't nobody dying on my watch.
Man, your grandma would have gotten along with my dad. My dad's crazy nonsense he used to say when we were growing up all the time. If we were looking out the window, he'd yell at us to stop looking out the window or someone's going to throw a rock at us. And I never understood that. I still don't understand that to this day, what my dad's life was, that he looked out windows and got rocks thrown at him.
They've been through the mud, bro. They've been traumatized. I feel bad for them. That's a traumatizing life that you're so scared that you got to pass this scary shit on to your grandkids. That shit's crazy. Poor lady.
Yeah, there are 2 games that I really enjoyed in the past like 10 years. They had the Evil Within. I'm not sure if this is like an Evil Dead knockoff or something, but
I think it's its own thing.
Yeah, the Evil Within, super good. I didn't like it the first time I played it, but then I realized it's just a Resident Evil 4 clone. And then I was all in after I realized that. I was like, oh, this is just Resident Evil 4, but a different flavor. And then Evil Within 2, really good as well. I beat both of those games. Just fantastic games. There are certain things that I do want to experience. I want to experience Tony getting introduced to Mr. X. Like, I just want to see what Tony would do in that moment.
I've watched it on YouTube.
Yeah, I just think you're ruining the game for yourself.
I think we all need to play Phasmophobia and do some ghost busting.
That would be really cool.
Is that
I'd
on
be super
PlayStation?
down for that.
Was that PC?
Maybe. I'm not too sure.
I think it's just a PC game. I think it's early access, right?
I think it's still early access, honestly.
I heard it's good, but I haven't looked into it. Is it good?
Never played it. I've
Oh,
just
it
watched,
look-
I've
it's
watched people play
four-player
it.
co-op?
I've watched
Yeah.
people play it. It's 4-player co-op.
Yeah. We might have to try that out.
Definitely.
If it's
I don't mind it. Dead by
yeah,
Daylight is another one that it's not scary, but I don't like the thrill of being chased. I hate
Dead
that
by
shit.
Daylight can be scary. Like when you're hiding and that they bust open the locker you're hiding in.
I've been wanting to play that game with my friends. Everyone gets through the tutorial and they're like, I don't want to play this game anymore. And I'm like, damn.
And we all got it.
Nobody I know can make it through the tutorial. I've had like 3 or 4 friends I've wanted to play with. None of them. Shout out to Supernatural Games. They make all those interactive movie style games. They made the Dark Picture anthology. They recently made The Quarry, which I just recently beat. It's like a werewolf horror kind of game. I loved it, and it's very campy. It's cool. I think these games. I think they're getting better at making these style of games too.
I've got one that I played recently. I tweeted about it. It's this game called Dredge. It's only a demo now. It's supposed to come out next year. And it's not really like a spooky game, or like a scary game, but it's got like spooky vibes to it. It's got a very like Lovecraftian horror kind of thing going on. But you're like a boat captain, like a fisherman, and you just have to go out and fish during the day. You just take your little boat out, you go and fish spots, right? But at night, it gets super dark and this fog rolls in, and there's creepy like ghost ships and like creatures in the deep, and there's like this big mystery of what's actually happening in this little like island chain that you live in. It's pretty good.
That sounds good.
Yeah, like I was, like boating around like 2:00 in the morning in that game, and there was a boat that came towards me, and then it turned into like one of those like deep sea like angler fish and started chasing me. Fucking destroyed me. Destroyed me immediately. They do this weird thing too where it gets dark, so you're taking your boat around, and the rocks that you can normally see like all the way across the horizon,
Can't see it no more.
they don't pop in until like 10 feet from your boat now. So I just ran straight into a rock, got destroyed by this fish. Good time. Definitely gonna pick that up when it goes full release.
Can you just go home before it gets dark?
Yes, but there's certain mysteries that if you want to solve them, you have to go out in the middle of the night. And there's different fish that are only available at night, and they pay more money and things like that.
That's how you make a good game.
Yep.
Yeah.
You forced them to go out at night.
You're muted.
The best horror game is no doubt is The Last of Us, right? Like,
Ooh.
Yeah.
I've never thought of it as like a horror game, but it is though, right?
It
like,
is. It is.
yeah, maybe partially horror, but
It's a
think
jump
you're right. I
scare
mean,
for sure, though.
It's got jump scares. It's just like the relationship building and storytelling aspect of it is just so strong that I forget that there's the spookies part of it too. Shit,
Yeah.
that parking garage you end up in or whatever, where it's just pitch black and
yeah.
you have to go and turn on the generators or like just creepy
And all
scene.
you hear is
it's like the basement of a hotel or some shit.
that's
like
all
that.
you
Like,
hear
that
is
shit
clickers.
scary.
That's-
Or Billstown. Billstown, I didn't like. It was
I
too
love
much
Bill
clicker
Time. No, I
action.
love that shit. That shit
I
was
don't like
nice.
Billstown. That's where I'm at right now, and I'm like, ugh.
Bill Time
What
was
about
fire.
what about
When I
games that
first
are
played The Last of Us on the PS3, I got to Billstown and just stopped playing it.
Damn.
I
Oh,
didn't
shit.
continue it until The Last of Us
told you.
Remastered came out on the PS4.
damn?
So you told him what you told him.
Because
What
I
about
told
game-
them I beat the game, and I was like, dude, you have to play the game. I beat it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
What
missing
about
out. He was
what
right.
about games that are unexpectedly scary? Like they have like an unexpected scary bit in there, like the
Like
Minecraft
the-
thing earlier. But like Half-Life 2, when you go to that town, what is that town? That
Ravenholm?
Ravenholm.
Yeah.
They're like,
It's a
no,
nice-
don't go to Ravenholm. No one goes to
No
Ravenholm.
one goes to Ravenholm.
That's awesome.
That part of the game, I put the game down. I had been going to Doughy's house after school when we were in high school and playing Half-Life 2 on his computer, and I got to Ravenholm and I didn't play the game for like a week. I was like, I don't want to play. I don't like horror shit like that. And then Doughy kept telling me to play. I was missing out, and I was. Half-Life
Shout out-
episode 2, fire. Episode 1, fire.
Yep.
Shout out only to Dead Space 1 and 2. 3 doesn't even exist. But Dead Space 1 and 2, shout out to you.
BioShock was another one that was a little creepy too.
BioShock was
creepy
definitely
vibes.
creepy.
That was surprising.
Shout out to the UI in Dead Space.
Facts.
I love the way they did the whole thing where
The
you
health
see
bar on his back.
The health bar on his back, or like there's no map, but to see where you gotta go, it's like on his display, but it's like scanned onto the ground.
Yeah.
Or like the bullet count is on his hand. There's no real menus in that game. Or like there's no real UI. Everything is like in world. I always thought that was so fucking cool.
It helps like make you feel like you're actually in that world. It aids a lot by having that clever UI like that.
Oh yeah, but they did.
What
their
I don't
thing.
like is that, like every other game on planet Earth, they play music to let you know that there's enemies around, and Dead Space doesn't do that. It's just silent. So you always have the feeling of, oh, the room is clear, there's no enemies, whatever, and you'll just be standing there, maybe looking at your bullets or reading things, and then bam, something just hits you, and that shit scares me every time. I don't like that shit.
That shit was good. They're making a remastered one, a version of it on PS5.
I saw
People
that.
are pissed off about it.
Are they really?
I'm excited.
It looked good. When
I
I
might
saw
play
it, like I looked at
saw
like
the
the
game.
side by side, and it looks good.
It looks good.
Hey, y'all know me. I ain't a remastered bitch, but I might play it. I only played Dead Space 1 because Doe forced me to, and I kind of enjoyed it, but I never beat it. So
But why would you play it? I think according to you, you're supposed to not buy it so that they don't make any more remakes.
well, because I never really played it all the way through.
But then
all the
you're
way
going to
through.
encourage the creation of remakes and remasters.
I'm only getting it remastered because I've never really beat the game. So
Yeah, but
technically,
when you
it's my
buy
first
it, they're
playthrough.
going to say, "Oh, people love remasters. We'll make more." Why would you support that?
They're going to
I
do a
wanna-
remaster of the remaster next year.
Nah, well, I'm not buying that.
Mm-hmm.
That's too much. It's different when it's your first playthrough. There's loopholes. I found it.
How do you feel about the Horizon remaster? A game we only had 5 years ago.
Fucking idiots. I hope you didn't buy that. You bought that?
No, they just rumored that it was either gonna get updated or there's like a PS5 version that's gonna be made.
Oh, okay. I thought it was out or something. I was like, nah, fuck that. Don't do that.
Oh yeah, I forgot they were doing that. That's weird. That's
That's
super weird.
super weird.
Stupid shit. It's because everybody's doing it. That's why. This is what you get when everybody's doing it. It's y'all's
Probably
fault.
We'll probably get a God of War remaster.
Ugh. Wait, which one?
The first one.
Ah. Not
Well, the
necessary.
Yeah, I
first one
don't
in the
think God of
reboot.
Oh,
The
yeah,
one that came
doesn't
out in
need a remake.
2018. Didn't that one come out like 2017?
Something like that, dude.
Terrible. But if if you stuck with us this long, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Share, like, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all social media platforms, all audio only platforms. We're out here. Always. And also, shout out to all the fans and viewers that constantly interacted with us on Discord, on Twitter posts, comments, IG comments. Shout out to you guys. Thank you.
Join our Discord.
Yep,
Join us.
join
Yeah.
it. And as always, people, go one up yourself. Peace.